the Nigerian political sphere has until recently been dominated by older generation. However, from the look of things, there is a gradual evolution, a burgeoning movement of young Nigerians, an increasing crescendo of youthful voices clamoring for change, challenging the estranged paradigms of yesteryears and that are eager to have their mark on the political stage. There is a palpable surge in youth involvement in political parties and grassroots movements, fueled in part by a desire for change and disillusionment with the status quo. With 52.3% of Nigerians' population aged 15 to 65 and a median age of 18, Nigeria has one of the largest youth populations globally, with individuals under the age of 35 comprising over 60% of the total populace, a demographic bulge pulsating the untapped potential and palpable energy. And to have the conversation on Nigerian political leadership, we have this Reverend, our guest is a Reverend Chimobi Aninwene, Redemption Church Worldwide. Good evening, Reverend, and welcome to the program.
Good evening, and viewers. You are welcome on this show.
Okay, Reverend, just as the topic is youth involvement in Nigerian political leadership, what would you say are the barriers that are preventing youth from getting involved in the Nigerian politics, active involvement actually?
Well, you see, as a clergy, I will be allowed to say nothing but the truth. You see, one of the major barriers we can consider is corruption among the present leaders. Corruption in the sense that, we grew up with this word, youths are the leaders of tomorrow. But when you look around, you see that those who are currently occupying the leadership position, they have no interest in handing power over to the youth. Because there is the general understanding the youth are not ready. No. The youth of Nigeria that I have seen, they are eager, they are ready. Just that the people that have occupied that position have refused to quit. In fact, in Nigeria, if you want to become relevant, just grow old, expire, and then you become relevant. That is why we have leaders from the age of 60, 70, 80, and thereabouts. Age comes with wisdom. Well, it depends. It depends, because if the current leaders we are seeing have age on their side and the age contributed to their senses, then what we have on the table is nothing to write home about.
It would be totally different.
You see, there is no wisdom in what we are seeing in the current leaders now. In my own understanding, any other person may have his own opinion. This is my personal opinion.
Okay. You just mentioned corruption. Would you like to highlight other forms of things that you think are preventing the Nigerian youth?
Well, number one, the major one is corruption. Another one is the zeal. You see, because of the corruption, youth, their zeal is like at the lower percentage. They don't have the joy, the eagerness to come out. Another thing is lack of unity among the youth. Last time I was in South Africa, and there was a statement made by their president. The youth gathered together. They said, no, in our nation, we have youth that have, been eating too deep. The political system of this nation have eaten too deep in this nation that tribalism have played a major role. So when an Hausa man is on throne, the youth from Hausa tribe will not want to react or go for power. Then if it is from the west, I wouldn't talk about the east, because the easterners have never had an opportunity of climbing that seat over there. So tribalism also is one of the another major factor that is, creating barriers.
Okay, we for you to be actively involved in politics, let's talk about youth being holding political positions I'm talking about being part of a political party. Do you think these political parties make it easily accessible for youth to be involved?
Well, of course, I would say maybe 60%. 60% in the sense that as a youth, if you join a political party, you see everything revolves around the youth understanding who they are, understanding the potentials and the abilities they have to make things happen. Because I believe that change doesn't just come. People create change. So the political parties, they have the open doors for the youth. There is no restriction, but it is now left for the youth to go and do their homework, because politics is the game of number. So if the youth will go in and do their job effectively, are you getting it? They will have a say in the political wars of this nation, and then from that they can then ascend to political leaderships.
Okay, Reverend, I would say that there are youths that are part of political parties in Nigeria. Now, looking at from the angle of these political parties rather endorsing older people because of the influence that they've had before, what would you say about that, as the case may be?
Of course, it is wrong. You see, if you look around the 36 nation and discover the youth governors, you will see the vision, the purpose. You will see how they are working. And a typical example is the governor of Enugu State. The governor of Enugu State, yeah, of course, he is in his productive age.
Exactly.
Productive age. You see, when you get to 60, you should be retiring. You should give opportunity for the younger ones to come up with innovative ideas, full of energy, ready to move. You will see Peter Mba, 24 hours. The man is working. The man is doing. In fact, the other time I had an opportunity of meeting him, I said to him, Your Excellency, if we go by the level of development you are doing in Enugu, what will you do in the second tenor? He said in the second tenor, we create another job. We are not yet tired. He will be able to say such because he is still within the bracket of his productive age. So political leaders endorsing the older men, I don't think it is an ideal. It is because of corruption. The same thing I'm talking about. When money is shared, most of the times our political leaders are not looking at what they are to offer. They are looking at what they are to gain, forgetting the fact that the way they are dealing with this nation, their own children will be part of the heat tomorrow.
Are you sure they will?
Of course, they definitely they will. One day they will still come back home. You see, I don't even fancy the idea of abroad. If you train your child abroad, you are not the owner of that child. You cannot compare the African culture and African value with the Western world. It is practically impossible. So those of them moving their children over there, maybe one day their children will come with gun and silence them once they discover the truth.
Okay, let's take a look at what happened in the past. Let's talk about the End SARS movements that happened and the End Bad Governance protests that happened. Do you think that these things, sort of contribute to youth not wanting to be involved in politics? I mean, with the fact that people had died in these processes, all in the name of wanting a better Nigeria for us.
Well, you wouldn't say that this may be a factor or one of the reasons why the youth want to participate. In fact, there is a plan that is ongoing. I think 30 days after, they want to take care of, march from church to church, from organization to organization. Just give us your voice. Let the youth vote. Let the youth count. The protest is ongoing. You wouldn't say that the youth, because of the saga of the NSAS saga, the NBAC governance saga is actually the problem. No, it is actually a sign that there is a revolution that is coming. If you look at what happened, even when they try to silence these voices, the voices are still coming up. And I believe if the youth will maintain the tempo, one day there will be change in this nation.
Okay, so given the prevalence of corruption in Nigeria currently, how can young political leaders maintain ethical standards? The young ones that are already there, how can they maintain this standard that we are looking up to, that we are not getting from the current leaders now?
Well, number one is unity. Number two is organizing seminars to educate the ignorant ones, because the ignorant ones are the ones these older men use as talks. Are you getting it? Sensitization. Coming to the fact that, hey, if we allow this nation to go through this channel, we're going to lose it tomorrow. Just educate the ignorant ones, come together, remove tribalistic zones and all those things off. Let us understand that we have no other nation but this nation. My sister, if you travel across the nation and then you come back to this Nigeria, you will cry. You know why? You will cry because I have traveled to some part of this of the world, and I have come with this understanding: there is no youth as talented, as dogged, as resilient like Nigerian youth, ready to work, very, very creative. Are you getting it? So I think that one of the things is for the youth to gather together and sensitize each other and be able to break the walls of tribalism. Hey, forget about you and Hausa. There is no hunger called Hausa hunger. There is no hunger called Yoruba hunger. There is no hunger called Igbo hunger. There is no hunger called Calabar hunger. Hunger is hunger, and it's dealing with everybody. My sister, somebody uploaded something the other time. The building he used 18 million to build in 2012. That same building, you will not use 80 million to build it in the current situation of this nation. So you wouldn't come up. Anybody who have that understanding as a youth must wake up to responsibility. It is hard time we stop this wickedness. If we find out older men who have the baptism of human life, when I talk about baptism of human life, I'm talking about those who have conscience. You see people passing through pain. You say, no, I am going there. You see, the worst part of it is that most of these leaders occupying these political positions, they have money.
A lot of money.
A lot of money. Many of them have a lot of money. But they will look at this young generation coming. In fact, they have succeeded in killing the appetite for education. Because when you go to school and come out, you don't have a good job. Okay, look at it now. We have teachers. You cannot compare the welfare of a teacher with the welfare of a political leader in this nation. You cannot compare the welfare of a medical doctor with the welfare of political leader. Even journalists, people like you should be earning well, you should be eating well, but it's not forthcoming because a certain group of people thought that they are the owner of this nation and they will be making the nation. It is hard time. In fact, let me give this as a prophecy. Time shall come, the revolution will even start from their houses. Their sons and their daughters will come after them. So it is hard time the youth gather together and sensitize others. So let's come together and become one and take this country from destruction, because the way we are looking at it, the country is almost, in fact, Nigeria is in coma.
Okay, so what would you say so far are the dangers that we faced without youth involvement in politics?
Of course, you are seeing it critically well. Dangers is retrogression. We will not move forward. We keep going backwards. Number two, we are not going to be able to meet up with the world economic standard. Number three, if you look around now, you see that tech is taking the center stage. The youth have the brain. All it takes, they have the potentials to drag. Nigeria is a blessed country. Nigeria is a wonderful country. That is why if you go down to the history lane, in the days of Zik, in the days of this Obasanjo them, Abacha them, even Buhari, the first time he was the president of Nigeria, he was within his 30s. All these leaders were within their 20s and their 30s, and check their track records. You will see how far they were able to bring honor and glory to Nigeria. You know, in the 80s and the 70s, as we heard, going to America, they are begging you to come to America. Life was good, and these leaders were at the youthful stage. So you cannot compare them with what these people are doing in this current nation. So the danger is hunger, the danger is robbery, the danger is the insecurity that we are still having. I don't know whether you know that what fuels insecurity is joblessness. Imagine somebody who has something meaningful. Something meaningful. Will the person come out and carry gun? If somebody has something meaningful, even these political leaders cannot hire them. Imagine somebody earning 2 million a month, 3 million a month, 10 million a month.
You'll be too busy to
And then somebody will come up and say, come and take 500,000 and go and kill somebody. You will look at that person and call the person an idiot. Or you ask the person to bring his own child. Because all of them send their children abroad and they are now uselessing the talent. Most of our youth have entered into cybercrime. Some of them have entered all this Yahoo, all these things. With what they are doing in that Yahoo world, that is to tell you the kind of brain Nigerians have. If they engage them in the positive direction, Donald Trump will come to spend holidays in Nigeria.
Absolutely. Since we're talking about technology, this is the era of social media. Technology has gone so fast. Everything is advancing. How do you think we can use this particular system as a leverage on increasing youth population, youth involvement in the Nigerian political system?
It is all left to the leaders of this nation. Last time, Mba had a large seminar on that direction at the ICC hall. You see, when I talk about Peter Mba, I'm not here to campaign about Peter Mba. I am a clergy. I should stand on the truth. That young man is hitting it right. I wish that Nigerian leaders should emulate Governor Peter Mba. They would take the youth to the next level. May it interest you to know that I'm leading a youth group called Enugu Innovative Youths. I gathered them together and then we started relating. How do we help you? How do we do this? How do we do this? So let them roll out programs, tech seminars where they can give out free computers, establish job opportunities. You know, I'm a pastor and there is this current crisis going on. Pastors should close down churches and build factories. All these reactions are coming because the government, they are not doing the needful. If they do the needful, we'll have less job. Do you know how many people I pay their school fees? Do you know how many people I pay their house rent? Do you know how many families I fight for as I'm standing? So when we talk about the corruption and these issues in Nigeria, it peels my skin. I want to go to some of them and drag them out. I'm telling you, I'm damn serious about it. Drag them out. I tell them, my brother, you are not doing something. Another person that is doing it well in this nation, in this side of the world, is Reverend Father Ejike Mbaka. I was in one of the seminars, technology. He rolled out computers and was helping the youth. So I believe that if our leaders will look into the future, look into the activities, and engage this mind, Nigeria have people with great sense. I have never seen such anywhere in the world. I have traveled to some places, and when you get there, you see that it's like when you talk about China and all those things, you talk about South Africa and all those things, the people controlling their wealth are Nigerians, not even them. Nigerians. So if our leaders come down here, engage the youth, bring them, have a round table meeting, and then look at how to, promote them, support them, encourage them financially, creating opportunities for them to dive into, not using them for selfish, destructive politics. 2-7 is coming now. And then
they are mobilizing them.
But if they give them the right direction, Nigeria will be very peaceful.
So are there really notable success stories of young politicians, basically in Nigeria, that you'd like to use as an example, for other people to see and understand that there are young people that are out there and they are getting it right?
You mean politically or?
Politically.
Politically.
Yes.
Well, you see, I am not really into politics to know so many of them, but I know there are some of them. I have my brother, Honorable Sam Chimobi. Chimobi is almost of the same age with me. He is a member, House of Representative, currently representing Enugu North and South. And the young guy is doing extremely well. The other time he went to one primary school, renovated it, paid school fees for WAEC students and all those things. And the guy is hitting the floor, he's getting it. And people like our governor also, He's within the bracket of a youth. Remember, I told you he's still in his productive age. And then we have the Commissioner for Youth and Sports in Enugu, yes. Lloyd Ekweremadu is also a youth. We have a one-time member of House of Assembly from Akwa Ibom, Luke. That young man was something else. Luke is still within that circle. And we have so many of them. I think the current local government chairman of Enugu South is still within his 30s. Is a youth. There are some of them that are actually.
You made a whole list right now. I mean, for someone that said you don't know, you've made an entire list.
This is just within.
Yes. Let's talk about political education and mentorship. How will this foster this movement? I mean, to hold leadership roles.
Of course, without mentor, you cannot rise. Life is made in a way. Wherever you want to be in this life, somebody is already there. And wisdom teaches you to learn from such person. But the question is, can we bring the older ones as mentors and bridge the gap, connect them to the younger ones? The younger ones must have an understanding that you don't just jump into leadership. You have to follow. You have to serve. That is why we love the government of Dr. Chimobi Namani. Dr. Chimobi Namani, when he was the governor of Enugu State, produced a lot of people, including the people we are seeing now. But unfortunately, there are many people now that have no interest in producing the next generation. Rather, what they do is, when I'm dying, I bring my son. When I'm going, I bring my son. So there is need for that mentorship. It is very, very, very necessary. That is why every youth must join political party and then get connected to somebody that share the same idea and the same spirit with you, somebody you will honor, somebody that is open to you, somebody you can follow, somebody you can serve, so that you become a better person tomorrow, politically.
Interesting. Do you think that there should be like a youth quota system?
Of course, it is necessary. With that, we can be able to reduce some of these agitations. When youth are given some percentage responsibilities, this number of youth, this office is meant for youth, this one is meant for youth specifically, and then you are not nurturing them to take over from the center stage.
Exactly. I think that's a good idea.
Very, very good idea, if they can venture towards that line.
Interesting. So what long-term benefits could Nigeria actually gain from having more youths represent us in the global stage?
It will help the nation not to collapse. Yes, because most importantly, you know, there is something I would have want to say before getting into this. Looking at our topic, the future of the youth in the political leadership of this nation. You should have asked me, do they have future?
I mean, the question left me speechless as well.
You see, why am I laughing? I'm laughing because Nigeria need deliverance as a country. But having said that, let me return back to your question. If the youth are being accommodated in the system, transition will become so easy. When this leadership is about to go, they will not find it difficult getting somebody that will replace them, because you have someone already. You know, if you look at the biblical principles, when Moses was leading, there was a Joshua. And when it was time for God to take Moses, Joshua was already there. And God said to him, transfer the power, because the spirit is already in him. What spirit? Having followed Moses for a long period of time, must have learned some skills and tactics and ways, and then must have seen the error and the weaknesses of Moses, and then ready to work on that in order to have a better and a greater leadership. Another example is Elijah and Elisha in the scripture. There is this connection, there is this connectivity. So it is very, 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 very necessary. And if we must get it right, let us remove tribe, or this is my brother. Let us give leadership to somebody that is capable of handling it.
Since we've been having this conversation, we've been talking about the system, the youth itself. Are they helping matters? Are they even trying at all to be involved?
You see, the greatest mountain under the sun is the mountain of ignorance. Why I don't want to blame the greater percentage of the youth is that many of them are yet to understand the system. You see, when the enemy want to destroy you, they will deny you access to knowledge. I believe that once they have the knowledge, and that is why you are seeing this revolution coming up and coming up, the NSAS and bad governance, and the one that is about to come. The youth are becoming awake. Are you getting it? To their responsibility. They are seeing their right. They are coming up. But we have some bad eggs amongst them. You know, in every 12, there must be a Judas. So there are some who wants to give them peanuts, wants to give them just take 500,000, go and settle yourself. They will just back off and start fighting against each other. But I believe the greater percentage of Nigerian youth, they are waking up to responsibility. And if you watch and keep watching and continue to watch, you will see the revolution one day.
So looking forward, what do you think will be the fate of Nigerians? Not just the regular Nigerians, but the fate of young Nigerians that are still yet to get involved in politics, people that have the passion for it.
Of course, with what is happening, they have hope. Their prayer will be, let this current youth succeed. I believe that this war that is on, war, not violent war.
Yes.
So that somebody will not come and send DSS after me. If the current youth succeed, the upcoming generation will have a place to stand. That is why the best time to fight for this change is now, not tomorrow. Those who are fighting now are not necessarily fighting for themselves. They are actually fighting for the younger generation.
Okay, let's talk about looking at the global stage. How can Nigerian youth, leverage international networks and partnership in order to help aid with this?
Well, they're already harvesting that opportunity. Like as I said, I have traveled to some parts and I have seen the effect and the impact of our youth globally. What is actually frustrating them is the bad image of our nation. That is just their problem. They have the understanding, they have the zeal, they have the skill, they have the potential, and they are already pushing. That is why our leaders should help us salvage our image so that we can go out and compete with the rest of the world.
So what would you say about the people in diaspora, Nigerians in diaspora that have potentials like this, that if most of them are even established over there?
Let them come home. There is no place like home. They should not be there telling us how life is sweet there. They should make arrangements on how to better our place. There are great brains ready to work and interface, synergize with them if they can give them that opportunity. Staying there and making condemning words, this and that and that and that. They should understand that there is no place like home. No matter how far you establish yourself there, you need to come back home and help the people over here. You see, Nigeria is a better place. This is the only place we don't hear earthquake, hurricane, and all these natural disasters that is eating and hitting the global world over there. It's not here. Here is very, very better. So they should come back and invest in this nation. We've not lost hope totally.
At all.
We believe that there is a better tomorrow.
Okay, so innovative strategies from the political angle, how can they employ in order to engage youths?
Well, it revolves in what we have been discussing: creating opportunities, creating businesses, business atmosphere, creating, building up, what do you call it, factories, companies, where you can employ this, giving opportunity for the foreign world to come and invest. And that is why we need, if the foreigners must come and invest in this nation, we really need to tackle insecurity, because insecurity is one other factor that is fighting development in this nation. And if insecurity must go, the youth must be engaged. We must find them something doing. We also must engage them in the security network of this nation, because it takes a criminal to arrest a criminal.
Is that so?
Of course, yes. It takes a criminal to arrest a criminal.
To arrest the criminal. Looking for
Most of these people causing all this mayhem in this nation, they are not hidden. There are people that knows them. And some of our leaders may know them.
possibly.
Yeah, they may know them. I use the word may. Because little thing they will come and deny. So they may.
So we're still talking about youth in the Nigerian political leadership. In the times like this, the 2027 election is coming up, and we are hoping for what happened in 2023. Youth came out in mass to vote. We had our expectations, and you can see that we were robbed right before our eyes. Do you think that this coming 2027 election, we're going to have that kind of crowd from the youths again?
I believe so. In fact, 2027 will be about a particular political party, I don't want to call their name, versus Nigerian youth. That revolution is coming. It's true that they rob us, the youth, at the center. But there are other places youth were able to make some statement. No, there is a lot of changes. Especially in Enugu. Some of these political hawks, I call them political parasites, political vultures. There's all these political vultures, political criminals, political... Oh, Jesus Christ. Most of them were disarmed because they saw the youth walked out and they were not ready to collect money. Peanuts. They will take your money, shake hand, and vote the person they want to vote. I believe that is going to be another revolution again coming 2027. But anyone that will buy the heart of the youth must promise the youth that he will defend the vote. Not let's leave it, it shall be well, let's go to God. You don't take power from Nigeria. If you must take power, you have to fight for it.
And that was clearly.
And the youth are ready to fight. Not that somebody is just pressing on them. Calm down. You don't. With the way Nigeria is not corrupt, or Nigeria is corruption. If you want to deal with that corruption, you need force. Are you getting it? So the youth will need somebody that will tell them, if we risk our lives and come out to vote, you will promise us that after doing this, you will match it up.
Yes.
Not you go
because
to the way like
really
there is one governor of a particular state who was suspended, and then the community people, the village people, the state people rallied around him, and then he came and he said, have they asked him whether he loved? That is an insufferable insolence. It's an insult. It's an insult to the people of that state that your people came together around you to defend you, and you are telling them they are complicating issues. Then you were never ready to be a leader. You are just
rather you disappointed the people that voted.
Of course, yes.
Power.
So if such a thing will happen in Nigeria in 2027, the youth would want to see the caliber, the ability of the person. Like in Enugu, when we came out in Enugu, Peter indeed is Peter. Peter is Okute. And Peter really worked out wonders. People came out in their mass, in their number, And then the man delivered. And you see, one day I said, I thank God I voted for you. Because the man, for the first time, we can on television and see Enugu State doing this. The governor of Enugu State say this. The governor of Enugu State say this. And it's actually happening. It gives me pride. I walk with my two shoulders high.
I mean, Reverend, just as you said now that the Nigerian youth come out in mass. On the other hand, don't you think like the level of disappointment that we got the previous time is so discouraging that you might want to relent?
If we relent, then we are cowards. Rome is not built in a day. We tried it, we saw what happened, and we must have seen the errors, and we are ready to work and come out again. I believe the youth will come. It's true that there is going to be a lot of manipulation in 2027. There will be a manipulation, but I believe with the current heat, my sister, the hunger in this nation is biting. The only thing you can do is to come out to vote. They don't have to beg you to come and vote. We will vote. We will defend the vote. We will get to the INEC office. Let them do what they want. But the INEC leaders should also understand that the life of their children is also at stake. Police people should also understand that the life of their children. Do you know that the youth, they are even working for the police? They are working for their betterment now. Because if the police have the understanding of the activities of the youth, they will not allow some criminals to use them against the youth. But the youth is not. How much are they being paid? You think that they pay Nigerian police very, very well, and some of them, let my mouth keep quiet. Say Nigeria is very, very wonderful.
Honestly, we could go on and on. Okay, just before we round off, the new bill. The bill has passed the second reading.
Yes.
So that's our next discussion. But I just want to get your opinion on it, about the compulsory voting. What do you think about it? Is it achievable?
Is it achievable? By faith, we can achieve it. But the problem is not bringing the people to vote, but assuring them that their vote will count.
Absolutely.
If you can assure them that their vote will count, you don't even need to pass a bill. They will come out.
Like we did the last time, we didn't need a bill.
We didn't need any bill. People clustered everywhere, crowd everywhere. In my own unit, I looked at the crowd that gathered from morning. I pitied them. I have to start buying food for everybody. Please eat and relax yourself. Eat, relax. We must stay here until everything is over.
Thank you so much. Our time is fast spent. Our topic of discussion was youth in Nigerian political leadership. If you're just joining us, please go back, replay, and watch, like, comment. Always give your comments. And our guest was, or rather is, Reverend Chimobi Aninwene, who is Redemption Church Worldwide. Thank you so much for your input.
Thank you very much.
It
I
was
appreciate it.
so insightful.
Thank
and
you.
We'll have conversations like this in the future. We'll go on a short break, and when we're back, we'll have our next conversation for the evening. Stay with us.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.